Hey YouTube folks, welcome to another video on this capybara-like channel. Get your heart ready because Hans Niemann might face Magnus in person again. I don't know if the Norwegian is very happy with this whole story, but I'm going to bring you the details because there was a freestyle tournament that just ended, and the champion of that tournament gets into the tournament that's going to happen in July on the 16th, where there will be an in-person tournament in Las Vegas with Magnus, Carlsen, Nakamura, Caruana, all the big names. Now, Hans was after that spot. He wants to take on the Norwegian. There's no way around it. That's what's happening. And I'm going to tell you who won this qualifying tournament. Was it Hans Lima? Will we have Magnus and Hans Lima in person in July? I'm going to show you one of Hans's most remarkable games from this qualifying tournament. And of course, at the end of the video, I'll tell you who is the champion of this tournament and who is going to Las Vegas. Now, the game that caught my attention the most was Hans Niemann against Yu Yang, and it was a very strong tournament, with Tatja Jinglieren playing, Dennis Lazovic Trump. Dangerous, of course, trying to win this qualification. Now, let's see who wins this game, how and why, but I'm warning you, hold on to your seat, get your popcorn ready. Let's get to it. That chess and freestyle will always be together from now on. And with the white pieces, Hans Niemann, controversial, fierce, and sharp, against Yu Yang. I'll say that up front. If Hans wins this tournament here, we'll be live. It's going to be unmissable. Magnus and Hans. But for that to happen, Hans has to win. The pieces are all mixed up. It's a terrible mess. The king is here on c1. The knights and bishops are over there on the other side. It's crazy. Now, notice that Hans starts playing with c4. So you can't call this an English opening at all. It's freestyle, so it's really a mess. But look at how Hans is playing logically, and we're going to have a surprise. In this part of the moment, it's really terrible. Look here, Yu Yang makes the move. e5. So he's already keeping an eye on it. Even to hold a d4 square a bit, knight to c3 puts some pressure on that pawn. f6 holding it. And look how Hans plays, queen to c2. Notice that here, he already has the option for a long castle. He just needs to put the king on c1. As you already know, Raphael, don't teach me the freestyle rules, I already know them. Show some respect. Exactly, I apologize, I was being silly. Well, notice that at this moment, Yu Yang moves the knight to g6. Now knight to g3 is natural. The pieces are controlling the center well. Hans is playing very logical chess. And d5 is played here by the Chinese grandmaster. Now comes the first exchange in the center, and notice that Yu Yang is provoking Hans Lima a bit at this moment because he captures with the rook, so the rook is already a bit more exposed there. He could have captured with the bishop, but no, he decides to capture with the rook, obviously. It brings the threat of winning Hans's queen, but Hans didn't say anything. Look at that knight to e4 holding the d5 square. Knight to 6 played by Yu Yang. Again, be careful. If you capture here, I can capture with the bishop. And I threaten the rook on 5 again. Hans controlled the c-file. He gives a little push to the rook. Rook to 5 is playing, pinning the knight. And at this moment, look at how Hans is going to play. He plays the move d4, opening up the center a bit more. So the exchange here is almost kind of mandatory. The capture happened. And Hans takes with the knight, look at that. He sends the young horse forward. It was a game, of course, 5 minutes. The time is well controlled, but you have to be careful. And b5 was played here by the Chinese grandmaster. So Yu Yang set it as a goal to play this plan along the c-file. Hans lose queen. And king, he threatens b4. You can't overlook it. If the knight jumps, you lose. The queen is in a dangerous moment. And Hans defended with b4. Hans has this sharp, creative, and aggressive chess style, which I have to be honest here, in the last matches between Hans and Magnus, things have been tough for the Norwegian. This happened in the title tour, it happened in that Blitz World Championship too, things are not easy. Hans is playing at the highest level. Now, rook to c4 was played by the Chinese grandmaster, threatening over here, and Hans plays e3, and here's a very dangerous moment in the game. Why? Hans threatens the rook, and in short, Black loses the exchange. There's no way to defend it. Raphael, what nonsense, man. First, the b4 pawn is hanging. The Chinese player can take it. But he didn't. He played the move that you all must be shouting about. Quit chess, Raphael. I'm going to quit. I can't take it anymore. I can't understand. Why doesn't he take here? Because you get forked. And here you lose. What was already lost ends like this. As we say in good Portuguese, you get totally wrecked, right? So you can't go for that. This move, in short, wins Black's rook. So you'll have to play with an exchange down. Of course, Hans's king is exposed. The Chinese player's king is too after the move bishop to c5. Now came the move of 5. So here, Yu Yang has to keep trying to open up the game now, because things are getting out of control. Hans captures on c4, and at this moment comes the bishop recapture, holding the b5 square. In detail, and Hans plays knight to e6, which is the most remarkable moment of this game. If you don't hold on to your chair, you might even end up falling, because in this position, notice that Yang has his queen under threat. He plays a very logical move, which is queen to b7. Now, this is incredible. This move is a mistake. A serious mistake. A very grave mistake. And notice that Hans, he's going to do something that's not so common among these top-level players. Hans captures on a 5, and of course he attacks the queen. He touches the bishop. He's still better. But this move by Hans is also a mistake. Look how unbelievable this is, because in this position, Hans Niemann would have checkmate in 2. That's very rare, okay? A player like this, with a high 2,700 rating like Hans, missing a mate in 2. But it happened, and he had time on the clock. Look, 2 minutes and 55 seconds. Raphael, where is this mate? Queen to f5, so that would be mate. Like this, it's outrageous, sacrificing the queen. Notice that the king has nowhere to go. And if you give up the bishop, it's mate just the same. And if you take with the knight, you get mated too. It would be a scary ending, but Niemann didn't find it. This is rare, I know. He played the move that seems positionally better, and he's actually better in this position. He attacks the queen, hits the bishop, Yu Yang keeps fighting, he plays the queen, takes on g2, which is the most expected move. You have to bring the queen in somehow, but everything is exposed. And now Niemann takes on c4, and at this moment, of course, if you take here again, the ideas of queen to f5 come back. If you move the king over there, the queen takes here, and everything is falling apart. So here, Yang took with the pawn, and now Niemann plays the move f4. What is he saying? I have an extra exchange, and I just want to trade queens and win this endgame. Time is always under control. Now the Chinese player can't trade. He's worse. He keeps the queen in the game, keeps fighting. Let's see how this tournament goes against Uruga, a4, and now Hans pushes ahead. This majority he has on the queen side, 5 played by the Chinese grandmaster controlling that square. Preparing to make the move at the right moment, knight e4 queen d2 Niemann, played, and now I'm kind of pinning you because soon I'll be coming in here and you'll be getting checkmated in many positions. Knight to e7, there it is. The Chinese player starts bringing a piece back to defense. This knight can come to c6. At this moment, Niemann plays b5. The pawns keep advancing. This move brings the idea of playing bishop e6, which he is going to do. To destabilize, take a look there, the knight on g6. So Niemann always plays this attacking chess, really sharp chess. Now, the Chinese player has to look for counterplay. g5 was just played by Yu Yang. And Hans plays b6. And here, you're in trouble. There's no other way to put it. If you take, the knight falls, everything falls. Bishop to g7 was played by Yu Yang at this moment. So he's saying, if you take here, I'll see how I keep up my attack. Hans took on c7. And in this position, the knight is falling. You can't take back. You're definitely going to get checkmated. So rook to a6 was played, holding the pony, and here Hans is going to deliver the conclusion of the game. Of course he missed it, mate in 2, that's not a problem. But at this moment, he plays a move that is brutally brilliant. It's a computer move, knight to b5, sacrificing the whole rook. Sacrificing the entire rook, here Yu Yang took it. Because when a rook is being offered, you have to take it. But now Niemann takes on d6, look at that, he recovers some of the material for white. King takes c7, and now comes the conclusion. Knight to c5, and after the move, king to e6 comes the last move of the game. Niemann goes for mate, and look at that, queen to d8 at this moment. Yu Yang was already out of time on the clock, had no position left, and resigned the match. Now, Raphael, why did he resign? Because he was going to get checkmated anyway, no matter what, right? A move like this, since I'm already crushing you, you can come here, I play this, and that's mate. There's mate no matter what. This is just one way to win the game. Now keep an eye out. Did Hans become the champion? Did he? Will we have Magnus and Hans Niemann? It's going live. And it's live. The pressure from this situation, of course, was also affected because Hans ended up missing the mate in 2. It's not something that happens all the time, but it does happen quite often, close to 85%. Now, yes, Hans Niemann was the champion of this tournament and will actually face Nuruga. That's something you absolutely can't miss. The result is live. Hans got past some strong players. Take a look. He beat Ding Liren, then Yu Yang. That was one of the games we saw, and he became champion by defeating Denis Lazovica in Armageddon. Notice that the match ended tied at 2.5 to 2.5. but Hans was playing for the draw as Black in the Armageddon. So yes, Hans was the freestyle champion and will face Magnus Carlsen, Nakamura, and Trump du Berulio on July 16th. We will, of course, be live to follow one of the greatest shows of recent times. If you like the news, enjoyed the video, don't forget to like it, and see you in the next videos. Thank you.